Hi and welcome to our video blog. We're going to be looking at the impact of COVID-19, which is probably no surprise. The two angles or topics that we're exploring today are the impact on recruitment and the impact on flexi working or working from home. What we've done is we've sampled people across multiple jurisdictions from our community, which is law firms and also the in-house legal and compliance community. And we've asked a series of questions. We've chosen two periods of time. So the first one was very early on in the lockdown, or right at the start of the lockdown for some. The second point was 4 to 6 weeks into the lockdown. Now that's really important for us because we can measure the change in people's perception during that time. And it'll be no surprise to you that we'll be rolling out a third survey, which will be around the time that measures or the lockdown measures start to lift. What we are, or the reason we've chosen recruitment is not the obvious. It's actually because recruitment spells investment from our clients into new people, new business lines, new people for leadership roles, a range of different things, but it's a good indicator of investment. The reason we are targeting flexible working and working from home is that never before have we been in this unique position where such a high percentage of us are working from home. Now that's something we want to explore further, and we're really excited about the data on that front. So let me talk you through some of our findings. It's important to note that 95% of our respondents are currently working from home. So a big percentage of those have connected with this working from home concept already. Now, 88.9% said that caution across their business had gone up. Caution is a key indicator because it can affect investment decisions. But that correlates positively with the second question, which is, should caution be increased? And 72.2% said it should. So what we're seeing is alignment between caution shown by or demonstrated by businesses, but also the perception of whether businesses should be cautious. We asked our respondents whether they felt cost-cutting measures should be introduced, and 61% did say that cost-cutting measures should be introduced. Now, cost-cutting measures do not always spell reductions in headcount. There's been a lot of data and also coverage around some of the topics or themes that are emerging as a result of this lockdown. Likelihood that people will be taking less holidays, that businesses will be reducing their business travel, marketing expenses could be reduced. Do we all need to be in an office space? Well, there are lots of costs that factor into this dynamic, but 61% said they felt costs would need to be reduced. 22.2% said costs have already been reduced, and we feel like that statistic is to plug the gap in perhaps perceived productivity within businesses. Naturally, some businesses have already taken a hit in terms of their productivity. Now, we then looked at potential reduction in recruitment, and 33.3% of our respondents said that there would be a reduction in their recruitment. This, though, was counterbalanced with 38.9% that said that there would actually be no change in the level of their recruitment. A very interesting statistic, and on balance, perhaps a surprising one, or a vote of confidence when it comes to investment decisions. Now, just to caveat that, the audience that we deal with tend to be strategic decision makers, senior hiring partners, heads of HR, and because of that, the type of recruitment that we're referencing is often at the more senior end, and therefore there are longer lead times. There are a range of dynamics that play into that. Typical turnaround could be 3 to 6 months for a hire, and therefore a 2-month blip or a 2-month lockdown might not necessarily impact on hiring decisions. So that's something we need to explore further. Over 70% of our respondents gave themselves a productivity score of 7 to 8 out of 10, which is very high. Now, when canvassed at the start of the lockdown, where individuals were tackling IT issues, systems and processes weren't fully baked in, and there was quite a bit of uncertainty around. That score was a lot lower, but 7 to 8 out of 10 as a productivity score is very high, and will give managers confidence that employees are feeling like they are able to be productive during this time. We paired that data against the macro productivity piece. So we asked a question which was, given that such a high or such a vast number of employees are working from home, is there a productivity gain to be had? Now, 89% either strongly agreed or agreed that with such a high percentage of the workforce working from home, productivity across the organisation would improve. This is a very interesting statistic and something we need to look at further in the future, but it's certainly a vote of confidence for having mass workforces work from home. Interestingly, clients, the beating heart of most organisations, we asked a question around clients' perception. Now, 38.9% of our respondents said that clients' perception had greatly improved towards working from home. The counter to that was that 55.6% had said it improved. So amalgamate those two figures and you've got a positive response of around 90%. That means that clients are already acknowledging that working from home is working and they are getting the same or improved levels of performance from their suppliers. A key statistic and something I think again is relevant for leadership. Now, when we amalgamated the data for to analyse whether there would be any changes in hiring across our sample, our audience, 50% said that there would be no change or an improvement in hiring. Obviously, we could look at the negative on that data, 50% suggesting there would be a change, but this was actually a lot higher than we thought. We actually thought the consensus view would be that there would be a greater impact on hiring. Now, the reason for that is we feel that, taking the example of BA or IAG, airline industry has a better lens into the future because it seems likely that businesses will be asking their employees to travel less, and also holiday makers will be more cautious around their international travel. So BA or IAG have been able to forecast that over the next 3 years, so medium term, there will be an impact on their business. We do not have that in our space yet. There are areas that have naturally seen a drop-off in work, and also there are areas of exceptionally high volumes of work. So that hiring, 50% no change in hiring is perhaps an aggregate or an amalgamation of that, and a positive that we can draw from the data. Now, we're going to be looking at this data, as previously said. Again, there'll be an additional survey round when restrictions are being lifted, and we're really interested to see what comes out of that. If you have any comments or thoughts, please add them to this. We'd greatly appreciate any interaction from your side. It'd also be interesting to know whether our statistics are in line with what you are seeing. In the meantime, stay well and see you on the other side.